Good evening. This is Facebook Love number 121. I hope you're well. It's been a week of cooler temperatures. It's been just lovely. It's not even humid. So strange in Chicago in August. Every day I feel a creeping sense of unease about the way that our country is approaching this pandemic and the way that it is uncovering many of the problems in how our culture functions, especially the way we treat people who earn less money, who have less opportunity, who've lost their jobs, who need help while they figure out what to do next. The judgments that we make and the way that we choose to behave as a people. And today, Robert Redford shared a beautiful piece about the idea of the leaders of our country displaying for the people, especially when we are in the midst of big challenges and deep conflicts, displaying a moral compass. And he used a term, fierce compassion, which I really liked. So instead of reading a poem, I want to read a few paragraphs from this piece. If you're young enough that you don't know who Robert Redford is, he's an actor, a director, a trustee of the Natural Resources Defense Council. He's a producer, and he is a dedicated environmentalist, which is perhaps the reason I love him best, though watching him in his early films is enough to make anybody's heart beat fast. I think even men would feel that way. If they admit it. Anyway, this piece, he starts out by talking about growing up in Los Angeles in the 40s and what it was like listening to Franklin Delano Roosevelt speak to the country over the radio during World War II, and that it calmed him even as a child. And we were fighting fascism then. We seem to be fighting fascism from within right now. That's my opinion. So I just want to grab a few things that I thought were very important. And I don't want to attack anybody, but I do want to encourage fierce compassion. When our leader retweets and then deletes a video of a supporter shouting white power, or calls journalists enemy of the state, when he turns a life-saving mask against contagion into a weapon in a culture war, when he orders the police and the military to tear gas peaceful protesters so he can wave a Bible at the cameras, he sacrifices again and again a claim to moral authority. Yes. We need people who have a conscience and a sense of shame to be in charge of running this large government, which does work for us. Here's something I really liked. When and how did the United States of America become the divided states of America? Polarization, of course, has deep roots and many sources. Our current president didn't create all of our divisions as Americans, but he has found every fault line in America and wrenched them wide open. This November, we can choose another direction. This November, unity and empathy are on the ballot. Experience and intelligence are on the ballot. This is a quote from Robert Redford right here. Joe Biden is on the ballot, and I'm confident he will bring these qualities back to the White House. I don't make a practice of publicly announcing my vote, but this election year is different, and I believe Biden was made for this moment. Biden leads with his heart. I don't mean that in a soft and sentimental way. I'm talking about a fierce compassion, the kind that fuels him, that drives him to fight against racial and economic injustice, that won't let him rest while people are struggling. As FDR showed, empathy and ethics are not signs of weakness. They are signs of strength. This last bit here is really important. I think Americans are coming back to that view, despite our current president. Despite his daily efforts to divide us, I see much of the country beginning to reunite again the way it did when I was a kid. You can see it in the peaceful protests of the past several weeks. Americans of all races and classes coming together to fight against racism. You can see it in the ways that communities are pulling together in the face of this pandemic, even if the White House has left them to fend for themselves. These acts of compassion and kindness make our country stronger. Fierce compassion. Instead of reading a poem to you today, I just want you to think about what that means. What is fierce compassion? What does it mean when you care actively about people? What does it mean? Over the years, in my studies about my faith and in my work to be a better human, a better friend, a better spouse, a better parent, I've been exposed over and over again to the phrase, love is an action. It's not a feeling. There's nothing gooey about love. It's ferocious. We as people can be ferociously for each other. This is Facebook Love number 121. I'll see you again with a poem.